Hello and welcome to another exciting video on Security Onion. This is a how-to video where we're going to download Security Onion, install Security Onion, and then configure it so we can get it ready for things like security analyst type of stuff. So if you are studying for things like CySA Plus from CompTIA, maybe you're going for one of those cybersecurity analyst certifications from TCMC Security or from OffSec or from INE. It really that doesn't matter. If you are looking at becoming a blue teamer, Security Onion, it's the distribution that we have. This is our Kali Linux for the blue teamers. So Security Onion, think of it as that Kali Linux for the blue teamers. Okay, so you're like, okay, what is Security Onion? Well, a little bit of history here. It started back in 2008 by this gentleman. His name is Doug Burks. Actually, I had a chance to meet him, I think about 2 years ago, when I went to one of the conferences that they host. It's a B-Sides conference that they host, and then I gave him his flowers. He and his team, I told him how their tool was awesome, how I loved it, which I do. I developed a lot of labs using Security Onion. But I'm not the only one. It has been downloaded over 2 million downloads. So you can see it's one of the best tools that we have in cybersecurity when it comes to blue teaming and, things like that. Okay, now before I go on and downloading Security Onion, installing it and configuring it the way I want it, let's talk about this just a little bit more. So if I click on the software here from their website, securityonionsolutions.com, and this is where we're going to go to download this. But let's talk about this for a little bit. Well, Security Onion, it's a free distribution of Linux that is built by defenders for defenders. Like I said, this is our Kali Linux. It's a Linux distribution that comes with a bunch of tools that blue teamers will love to get their hands on. So it can be used for things like network visibility, using things like Zik, Suricata, right, to give you that network visibility. Remember, you cannot secure what you don't see. But it doesn't stop there. It goes into the host visibility, right, using things like Elastic agents, where maybe you can keep an eye on what is happening within your host. Things like intrusion detection systems, honeypots, log monitoring, and then the case management. A few years ago, when I was working with Security Onion and developing labs and things, they used to use another tool that was known as the Hive for their case management. And I don't know what happened. It could have been some licensing issues. They literally went in and built their own kind of a feature of Security Onion, and they call that thing cases, right? Literally, it's yeah. So it's a case management. So as an analyst, as you're going in and you're investigating something, well, you have this centralized location where you are documenting everything from the things you're detecting, the observables, your indicator of a compromise, those IOCs, all of it. There's like a built-in cases tool that you can use, which I think our next lab is going to be on that as well. But it doesn't stop there. You can do things like full pickup, capture, like why you can bring in Wireshark files and start analyzing those. And I think we're going to have like a lab on that as well. Now, scrolling down here on their website, we can see some of the features that comes with Security Onion, right? We can see things that are being alerted. All right, we can see the alerts. We can also, we have a hunt location where we can start hunting for things. And then we have detection, pick up, like I say, cases, as I was talking about it. The dashboards, they literally build their own dashboards, which comes with hunt, cases, pick up, grid, and so on and so forth. And then so on and so. So there is a lot of features that's part of Security Onion. It does integrate with a bunch of tools. I'll show you a lot of those once we get there. So for now, let me just stop talking and get into the downloading and installing this. So go ahead and click on downloads from their page there. And then it's going to take you to this GitHub page where you are going to be downloading this ISO file. Now, this is the image. So as soon as you click on this link, you should start downloading this ISO. But I want to also mention that they do have the MD5, the SHA-1 and SHA-256 hashes that you can use to be able to verify to see if what you're downloading is exactly what they put here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this link. And this should take you into your computer. Now here we can locate where I saved my stuff. So I can go to this PC and go to the C drive. And right here, there is a folder that's known as a Sec Labs or Sec Lab. I'm gonna double click on that. And then there's the ISO folder. And this is where I wanna drop the Security Onion ISO. Now I've already done that. That's the Security Onion right there. But you can just click on save and then it's gonna be kind of a downloaded there. Now, once you finish downloading this, you might want to verify the hashes if you wanted to, but I'm not going to go into that. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to install this on top of VMware Workstation. So go ahead and bring up your VMware Workstation. And again, if you don't know how to install VMware, if this is like first time watching one of these videos, you didn't start from scratch with us, I have another video on YouTube that helps you into the process of installing VMware Workstation. Now, before I go on and start creating the virtual machine here in VMware Workstation, I want to show you the requirements. So I'll put the link to this page in the description, but this is the hardware requirement, right? If you're going to be doing this, you got to take a look at this. What we're going to install is this evaluation version of Security Onion. Okay, it requires you to have at least 200 gigabytes of storage. Your RAM must be 8. That's the minimum. Keep an eye on the minimum there. And you must have 2 network interface cards. So that's what we're going to play with because we're going to install Security Onion in a single computer, in a single VM. We're not. This is not a production thing. This is more like a lab. It's a lab thing. So that's why we're going to do evaluation there. But you can do standalone if you're going to be using this in a production, for example. So this is just like evaluation, but this is more in a production environment. And then there's all kinds of other ways of installing this. You can even do the import, which is really lightweight, because when you do the import, you're not really installing the entire thing. You're more just doing this for analyzing pickup files. I'm talking about Wireshark files, or doing some kind of a forensic type of work. So what we're going to do is evaluation. I just want to show you the minimum, the requirements before we dive in. So let's go ahead and bring back up the workstation here. Once you are here, click on File, then click on New Virtual Machine. And this little wizard is going to come up. Make sure Typical Recommended is selected, then click Next. Now, once you're here, make sure the second option is selected, and then browse into your computer. Click on Browse to go into your computer to pick the ISO file. In this case, Security Onion. Now go ahead and pick Security Onion right there. I'm going to click on Open. Now they're going to bring in the Security Onion ISO file. Here, click Next. Now you're going to have to give it a name. All right, let's go ahead and call this Sec Onion for Security Onion. Okay. And then I'm going to click Next. And then this is where you will need to specify that minimum disk space. Remember, they say 200. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 200. I can probably do 250. I'll keep on 200. If you do less than 200, it's not going to work. All right? I've made that mistake. Make sure you have that gigabyte storage. Then right here, pick the store virtual disk as a single file. That's what I want. We don't want to split this. We just want to keep everything as a single file. So click on the first option there, click Next. And right here, don't click Finish yet. Go ahead and customize the hardware. We got to do a few things here. When I click on the Customize Hardware, they'll bring up this hardware wizard here. Now, in this computer, I have a 64-bit gigabytes of RAM. Remember, they said 8. I'm going to push mine to 32. But again, you can pick 8 or 16. That's up to you. I'm going to put mine on 32 because I want this to go a little bit faster. Another thing I wanted to customize here is the processor. So the processor here, it's just 2 processor, but let me go ahead and push that to 2 core. There we go. So that I have 4 total processor here, right? That's looking good. Another thing I need to do is to add another network adapter. Now, before I do that, let me click on the network adapter here, click on that, and then just verify a few things. First of all, we want to make sure this right here it's connected to NAT. I want to make sure network address translation is the one that is selected. The reason is our first network adapter, we want to be able to communicate with these other machines. These right here, the Kali, the Meta, the Ubuntu, because we're going to be accessing Security Onion from one of these machines right here. Okay, so make sure that it is selected. That's what we're going to use for our Security Onion management purposes. Okay, then after that, click on Add. Right here at the bottom, click on Add. Let's add another network adapter. I'm going to select network adapter, click on Finish. And they're going to bring in another network adapter. Now we have two of them. These are the NIC cards that Security Onion was talking about. So this right here, instead of putting that on NAT, we're going to put that on a host only. All right, let's put that on a host only so that it can talk to our Flare VM, that Flare VM. This network adapter number 2 is going to be used for monitoring purposes. Okay, so the first one is for administrative purposes, administrating this thing. Second one is for your logs, for monitoring things as well. Now, once you finish with that, go ahead and close this and verify that you've configured everything the right way. Then click on Finish. Now, keep in mind it's going to go ahead and power on this virtual machine automatically because that is selected. And I leave that selected, then click on Finish. And now we see this pop up right here, right? Not really a pop up, but this Security Onion welcome page asking us to pick the kind of installation that we're trying to do here. There are a few of them. We can do with the desktop, the Security Onion with the desktop. We can do this IDH node. We can do the Pro. I think it costs money. Yep. And then you can do all the other stuff. So we're gonna keep this on the very first one. The very first. So we don't want to do it with the desktop because we don't want a Security Onion to have a desktop environment. You can do it that way, but we don't want to do that. I want to be able to kind of a remoting using things like SSH and the like. So pick the first option and make sure that's selected. The other thing you need to keep in mind is that your mouse is not going to work here. So you're going to have to use your keyboard using the upper arrow key to basically access what you're looking for. And then once you find what you're looking for, you press Enter or you press Tab. You press the space bar, but you can also tab into certain things as well. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure the first one is selected, then press Enter to pick that first option. All right, Security Onion, it's going in, it's getting things ready. It's basically reaching out to all the packages, is grabbing a bunch of things, trying to see if it can get everything that is needed so that we can get into the whole process of downloading those things, right? Downloading everything we need to get Security Onion going. So give this some time. It's going to take a minute. When it's done, I'm going to pause the video. When it's done, I'll come back and then we're going to keep going. And here we are. Okay. Now, once it's finished that, you will see this warning page, not really a page, but this location here that says, do you wish to continue? And the answer is yes. So go ahead and click there and then type in yes, then press Enter. Then it's going to ask you to set up your administrator username. So let's go ahead and call this soc-admin. Okay, so for the administrator, then press Enter here. It's going to ask us to set up the password. Remember, in Linux, when you're typing in your password, you won't see anything. It doesn't mean anything is broken. Just have faith that it's taking your password. Now go ahead and type in my password here. I'm going to press Enter and asking me, hey, retype this again. I'll put the same password in. I'm going to press Enter again, and that's it. Now it's going to go in and start downloading all the packages that is needed. So there's that pre-installation script that's being kind of called on. And then as you can see there, it's checking for the storage config. Then after that, it's going to start downloading things. Now, this process, it's going to take a minute. It's absolutely going to take a minute. So I will say, go grab a coffee, grab a tea. What I would do, I will pause the video, then I will come back once the downloading packages is finished. Okay, now after rebooting Security Onion, it's going to take us to this login page. Now here, let's go ahead and sign in with our username. So soc-admin, that's the username. And the password is the password that we created. I'm gonna put that in there, press Enter. And it's going to take us to this welcome to Security Onion setup page where they're asking us, hey, you want to continue? And from now moving forward, we are going to be tabbing between these options. So the answer is yes. I'm going to tab it to yes. Yes was already selected. And then I press the space bar or enter. So I'm going to press enter to pick yes. And right here, they're asking us to select the option. Do we want to install this or do we want to configure the network? Now, we want to install it and run it as the standard because we need internet access. So I'm going to go ahead and tab to OK, then press enter again. And then it's asking us what kind of a installation do we want. Do we want the import? Do we want the evaluation, the standard? So in our case, we're going with the evaluation. So go ahead and use the upper arrow key on your keyboard and then pick the second one, the evaluation, and then press enter again. Oh, no, press tab to pick OK and then press enter. And now it's asking us, do you want to air gap this or do you want to just do a regular standard? Like I said, we're going to continue with the regular standard. So go ahead and tab this to pick OK, then press enter. And now they're asking us to give it a name. So let's go ahead and delete that security onion that's already there. And then let's just call this SOC, right? SOC. Then I'm going to tab this to OK and then press enter again. And if you remember earlier, we set up two network interface card. The first one was for management, the one that was assigned to the NAT, network address translation. And the second option was for monitoring. And this is the one that was assigned to the host only. So we're going to pick the first one. So, I mean, it was already selected, but go ahead and use your upper arrow key to pick that very first one. Then press tab to pick OK, and then press enter again. And now they're asking us to assign IP address. And there is two ways of me doing that. I can do the static IP address assigning, which is recommended, or I can use the, let me go back there, I can use the DHCP. DHCP, it's when I want my virtual router, in this case, VMware Workstation, to assign automatically to assign an IP address to this security onion. I don't want to do that. I'm going to assign an IP address to this thing manually. So I'm going to make sure that very first one is selected, press tab to pick OK, then press enter again. Now they're asking us to give this thing an IP address. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just call enter the IP address. So I'm going to give this 10, if this can start writing, 10.0.0. Let me call this 101.101/24. Now, the /24 is the subnet mask. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, Francis, where did you get that IP address from? So if you go back into your workstation here, then I click on Edit. Click on Edit, and then click on Virtual Network Editor. This is going to bring up all the interface that you have connected to this particular machine, which has the host only and then the NAT, the network address translation. In this case, I am assigning an IP address to this guy right there, right? Or my security onion is connected to that guy right there. So here on the subnet, I can see the subnet IP. In another case, I can see the network IP. Right, it says 10.0.0.0. They're like, oh, why did you sign that thing to the 10.0.0.101? Well, the reason why I call that 101, the 101, it's specific to security onion, okay? But these other three, the 10.0.0, that is shared between all of the computers, right? When I say all, let me go ahead and bring this back up again. The library, when I say all, I'm talking about these other machines, because I want security onion to be able to talk to these other guys once we finish, sort of like set this thing up. I'm going to go ahead and close the library again. I'm going to bring this back up here. I want to show you a few things. And what I did there, I said, okay, /24. /24 simply means this right here, this subnet mask, the 255.255.255.0. Again, if this is confusing to you, you probably need some networking skills. So I will more than happy to welcome you into one of these networking class that that's on the website. Anyway, go here and then click on a NAT settings. Okay, and then once you click on NAT settings, you can see a few things. You can also still see the subnet IP. You can see the subnet mask, same thing. And then you can see the gateway. Now, the gateway IP is the router's IP. This is the IP that it's going to allow Security Onion to get outside of this VM. In other words, that's the IP that's going to help us connect it to the internet. So be mindful of that. It's 10.0.0.2 in my case. I'm going to close that. I'm going to go ahead and close that. Again, I just want to show you that. I'm going to press tab, click, pick OK, then press enter. Now they're asking me to set up the gateway, that default gateway. I've already seen it, so it's 10. I can start writing there. 10.0.0.2. I'm going to press tab, pick OK, press enter. And here they're asking us to pick the DNS. Now, automatically, they've assigned the Google DNS, 8.8.8.8 or 8.8.4.4. This is Google's DNS. We're going to leave this here and then press tab, pick OK, press enter. And now they're asking us to enter the DNS search domain. Right now they have the search domain .local. We don't want to change this. Let's go ahead and press tab to pick OK again, then press enter one more time. And as soon as we finish with that, they're asking us, hey, do you want to install this directly so that we can have internet access, or do you want to go through a proxy? And the answer is direct. So make sure direct is picked, and then press tab to pick OK, and then press enter. And here they're asking us, hey, do you want to keep the default Docker IP address? So let's go ahead and just say OK. Make sure yes is selected by using tab, then press enter. And now they're asking us, hey, do you want to configure the monitoring interface? Now, like I said, we assigned it to interface to this one. They're gonna only show us the interface that is not picked, which is the one that you see right there. So I'm going to press a space bar to select it, put that little star there. Then I'm gonna press tab to pick OK, and then press enter. And now here's to the fun stuff. They're asking us to create an email address or enter an email address so that we can use this same exact email address to sign into the Security Onion console, the dashboard. So again, just the email doesn't have to be a real email. It can be a fake email. Right? It doesn't have to be a legitimate email. So in our case, I'm just going to use my Gmail. So I'm going to call this Francois Thanos@gmail.com. Okay, just to keep it simple. Right, but put in whatever email that you'd like to put it there. I'm going to press tab to pick OK. I'm going to press enter. And here they're going to ask me to set up the password for this Gmail that I just typed in there. I'm going to go ahead and create my simple password again. It doesn't have to be super secure. This is a lab environment. Then I'm going to tab it to pick OK. Then I'm going to press enter. And they're asking me to re-enter that password. I'm going to go ahead and enter that one more time. Tab it to pick OK. Press enter. And now they're asking me to pick how do I want to access this web interface. Do I want to use an IP address to do that? Do I want to use a host name, like a domain name, and other things? No, in this case, we're going to use the IP address. Okay, so make sure IP is picked. Press tab to pick OK, and then press enter. And here they're asking us if we want to allow access to the web interface. And the answer is absolutely yes. So make sure yes is selected, and then press enter. And now they're asking us to enter an IP address to allow this. So with the CySA notation, a CySA notation is that /24, that subnet mask. That's just another fancy way of saying it. So we're going to go ahead and just enter our subnet. In this case, it's going to be 10.0.0.0/24 with, which is that CySA notation. I'm going to press tab to pick OK, then press enter again. And here they're asking us to send telemetry to the Security Onion team. Basically, this is just a way of improving the Security Onion program. I'm going to just leave OK because this is a lab environment. I'll leave OK selected, then press, I say OK, but yes, then press enter. And finally, they're taking us to this sort of like a summary section here, kind of asking us to take a look at everything that we've configured. And if we're satisfied with what we see, we just need to press tab to go to pick yes, and then press enter. Now it's going in, it's rebooting, and this is there is to it. After this, all we have to do is to sign in into Security Onion console and then start using it. And after waiting for a while, it really took a little bit longer than I thought, but here we are. I can see that there is the IP address of the 10.0.0.101, which I will use that to be able to access the web interface of Security Onion. But I can also see the username and password. Obviously, they don't show me the password, but the username is there, but they're telling me that's what I will need to use as I try to log in into Security Onion. So I'm going to go ahead and use tab again to tab into OK, and then press enter. And now this is done. This is completely done. I can clear the screen, type in clear to bring this back up here. Then I can just type in Security Onion SO-status. Let's check the status of this. All right, they're saying, oh, you can't do that unless you're root. All right, let's type in sudo SO-status. There we go. And here they're saying, okay, type in the IP address of this SOC admin, the username. Now go ahead and type that in there. And I can see that a lot of things that we need, they're running. You can see that a bunch of Docker things are here running, including Zik, Suricata, and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear the screen here. And after that, let's go ahead and connect it to this Security Onion from the web interface. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to bring back the library here. So I'll be able to see all the VMs. Then I'm going to bring on Kali Linux. Let's connect from Kali Linux. I'm going to click on that and turn Kali Linux on. Okay, so give it a minute for Kali Linux to boot up. Let me go ahead and turn off the library again. There we go. All right, and here we are. Okay, so let me go ahead and sign in with in Kali with username Kali, password Kali, obviously. And let's check a few things. First of all, let me make sure that my computer, if this didn't pop up, you just click on the terminal, the icon right there. Then it's going to bring up the terminal. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in by pressing Control Shift and plus at the same time. Then I'll do fconfig to find out what my IP address is with the .10. Let me go ahead and ping the 10.0.0.101. So basically I'm pinging the Security Onion. And sure enough, Security Onion is reachable. Right? I will do Control C on the keyboard to stop the ping. And I can see that I send 7 packets, 7 were received, and 0 packets were lost. That's some fantastic news. Another thing that I can do, go back to Security Onion quickly and then ping the Kali. I'm going to type in ping 10.0.0. What was it? .2 or .10? Go back here. There we go. .10. There we go. I'm going to type in 10 right there. Press enter, and it looks like our Security Onion can also reach Kali. That's good news. I'm going to do Control C on the keyboard again to stop the ping. And let's go ahead and connect it to Security Onion. So I'll go back to Kali here, and I'll close the terminal. And then I bring Firefox. I'm going to click on Firefox. Now, once you have Firefox running, go ahead and type in the IP address. I'm talking about Security Onion IP address. So I'm going to go into the URL there and type in 10.0.0.101. All right, I'm going to press enter. And this will bring up the warning telling you that they're not trusting this certificate. So because it's a self-assigned certificate, that's really what this browser is trying to tell you. Hey, this is not trusted. But so go ahead and click on advance, then proceed, accept the risk and continue. And here we are. Now we have the login page. So I'm gonna go ahead and type in my email address. Remember to use the same email address that you set it up. So Francois Thanas, it could be also a fake email, doesn't matter, like I said. Then I'm gonna put in the password that I used. It's okay for me to save this. And that takes us to the overview of Security Onion. Now here we can see the getting started, where there's a few links that kind of help you learn a few things about Security Onion. But scroll down here, you start seeing things like what's new and Security Onion Pro and a few other things that they're doing. But in the left-hand side, you get to see alert, dashboards. Obviously, when we click on things like alert, there's not really much here because we haven't really been putting in. There's no alerts in Security Onion as of right now. But you can click on dashboards, and here you can start seeing things like basic metrics based on the alert. We will be adding some things in the future labs. And the dashboards and the alerts section, it will look different once we start getting in a little bit deeper into this. All right, you have hunt, you have cases, you have detection, you have pickup, grid, but you also have administration. Let me click on the administration here. You click on users, you can add additional user to Security Onion. Okay, you can definitely do that if that's what you choose to do. But what I wanted to show you here was that Security Onion is, like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of these labs, is like Kali Linux for defenders. It comes with Elastic, Kibana. For example, if I click on the Kibana right now, this is the SIEM, the CIEM, like the Splunk. So I can sign in with the same username and the password. That's the exactly thing that we set it up early, the one that you use to sign it into Security Onion. They use the same credentials. And right here, it takes me to Elastic. So if you, as a security analyst, this is one of those critical skill, right? Critical skill that you must know. You must learn your security information and event management. So once we put things into Security Onion, there will also appear here in this Elastic SIEM. And right here, you can do a lot here, right? You can create dashboards. You can see where things are coming from, where the alerts are. There's a lot to do here. But this is not the video for that. This is just us checking to make sure everything is working. It does also have CyberChef. It has Navigator, OS Query, which is good. It has the Fleet and the database there. As you can see, Security Onion comes with a bunch of cool and useful things. Now, in the next couple of labs, we will play around with some of these tools. But for now, that's it. Now, if you made it this far, I always ask you to subscribe. So if you haven't already subscribed, if you find this video useful, please share it to somebody else. If you know of anybody who's studying for the CySA Plus or who want to become a security analyst, get them to install Security Onion. Because in some of these job interviews, they will ask you, hey, how's your home lab look like? And the idea is for them to try to see if security is a passion, not just something that you're doing for the sake of the paycheck. All right, that being said, I will see you in the next video.